Hello. Matti Nykänen is dead. Long live Nykänen. If you don't know who he was, look him up. Very awarded ski jumper, and he pretty much accomplished anything you can accomplish or achieve when it comes to sports or ski jumping in general. Olympic medalist, multiple of those, and a lot of big medals. He died yesterday or last night in the age of 55. Cause of death is still unknown, but let's say that the Finnish people lost a character, a big one. After his sporting career, there were, bad decisions, alcohol, and whatever you can think. He was diagnosed with diabetes last year, so I don't know the actual cause of death, so don't know. But one thing that Nykänen was good besides ski jumping was creating one-liners. Something like if someone asks you what do you think are your chances, you can answer, well, I think 50-60. That's one. And there are a lot more. I mean, there are books about his one-liners, but most of them can't be translated to English because they're basically just playing around with Finnish words. But anyway, great man, went too soon, way too soon actually, 55 years old. But I'm here. I went to the post office to get a package, and I gave them the paper saying that something has arrived, and there was this long search. I'm like, where, what do you mean? They were fiddling around with their computers and all that. And then this package has already been delivered. What? Then I remembered I grabbed a package a few days ago, and the info or the notification that it has arrived came through a text message. So now that same package notification, or whatever is the right word, came through mail as a paper form. So it was two messages from same package, one through text message and one through a letter. So there wasn't anything to pick up. Well, exercising. Before I left home, I edited and started rendering the monster of a vlog that I've filmed during the last some days. I think it's safe to say that the past days have been pretty much broken, and you can see it from that vlog. It's almost 6:30 in the evening, and I just remembered that I forgot to eat today, so I grabbed a few energy protein bars while I was here. And I wonder how long I can drive myself like this before crashing in one way or another, because it's been a pretty hectic few weeks. There's no end in sight yet. And I've done these kind of a stop living and just create type of things. I've done these things I've done this same thing multiple times in the past, but I really feel that the age is catching me. It's not that easy to recover anymore, and it shouldn't be, but obviously there are things you can do to make yourself better at it, taking care of yourself, exercising regularly and so forth. I've tried to do that, but still I'm really feeling it. And now later this week there will be, I don't know, 4 days of pure chaos, or at least it seems that way. So I'm already like, yay. But you have to live in order to be alive. I don't know what I meant by that, but that just came to mind. But that was one of those Matti Nykänen things. in Finnish it's Elämä on ihmisen parasta aikaa, so I think it would translate something like being alive is the best part of life, or something like that. And Super Bowl, any Americans out there? I watched it a bit. I didn't watch it, well, I didn't saw the halftime show. I just watched some from the beginning. It looked boring, even the first section of the match, and when I read the papers today, or when I browsed through the websites or news sites, it really was boring. By the way, this is something that AVGN said years ago. Think about Super Bowl, all that manly energy and testosterone, and then the halftime show is something like Justin Timberlake. So it doesn't match. Obviously it's a business and we're talking about money and exposure and whatever promotional shish. But still, think about it. All that testosterone and manly energy, and then there's this some pop group or something when it comes to halftime show. So doesn't match. Doesn't match. And it's not that cold today. Although I think my battery is already dying because I've kept my camera in the wrong pocket. But I had to take the last spare battery I have out from the package yesterday. I mean, the original battery of this camera is already dead, so if you can still charge it, but it only lasts about something like 15 minutes. And the battery I've been using until yesterday, that lasted me for, I don't know, maybe about 5 years or something like that. Recharging. And now it finally died. Finally. Or it's not dead, but it doesn't hold charge all that well. So I had to take the last spare battery I have. And if I'm right, they don't make spare batteries for this camera anymore. So when this battery is kaput, then I have to buy a new camera, although I think that the camera will break before the battery. I mean, I've used this camera exclusively since what, late 2013 or late 2012, I think is the right info, and now we're in the early 2009. So this has been a trusty little thing. And what comes to snow, as you can see, we have quite a bit of it. And I checked the official weather reports. On average, on my area, we have about 58 centimeters of snow, on average. And that doesn't sound like much, but that's average. When you hit the area where there's more than that, good luck walking through it, unless someone's already went through there, so there's a prepared trail. And this winter has been cold and snowy, and we're getting more snow during the next few days. But the joke is that we're hitting above zero temperatures. So imagine all this snow getting wet. So during daytime above zero temperatures, during nighttime below zero temperatures. And now I'm getting worried about my scooter, because all that crap going into the system during daytime and then it freezes during nighttime, so we may have surprises ahead on the road. It's about 11 in the evening and I just watched a vlog. I was a bit behind, so I think it was this. This is one of Skaz's. I think it was this. I take it back. What's the name of it? And what comes to that vlog, if you are a parent, it's your responsibility to demand the best possible education for your children, and the schooling system of your country is obligated to deliver also. And that can cause a bit of a problem, because if you're not active as a parent, you don't know what's going on in school, in your children's school. If you ask teachers how was the day, most often you hear just fine. And well, when I was a student, healthcare student, I was in a kindergarten, and same story every day. What the I think is that nannies, people who are working there. But anyway, they said every time when someone asked how was my children's day, went fine. And I had to keep my mouth shut because I knew the truth. Wasn't anything big, but still there were things that I would have said. I would have let them know that this and this happened. But since I was a student, I kept my mouth shut. But same thing with me. For example, I like to know what's going on in my daughter's school. And if there's any kind of problem, I'll go in there. Any kind of problem, what comes to her feeling comfortable being in school, because when you are in school you should feel safe, you should feel motivated by your environment. If you go to school and school means fear, that's not a good platform what comes to learning things. So and especially if you have children with special needs, you have to pay even more attention to what's going on in their school, and don't take the easy answer. I never take the easy answer. Also, when my daughter was in kindergarten, I never took the easy answer. If I asked how was her day and they said, well, went good, I asked more questions. And after a while they started to answer automatically. I didn't have to, what was the right word, ask any more of those things. They told me directly what happened in more detail. Because many parents they're feeling just fine with that answer. It was a good day, okay? How about the details? And especially if you have, as I said, especially if you have children with special needs, you should push the school more. Ask more questions, and you should want to have detailed answers. That's also one thing. And that video actually brought something back here. A while ago I read a few studies, and those studies weren't, let's say, completely official. They were a bit under the radar, about American schooling system. And according to those studies, if you can call them that, US government realized somewhere around late 60s and somewhere late 60s, part of the 70s, that they are doing too good of a job when it comes to educating people. Because if you have people who are well educated, they know how to think with their own brain. They know that they can demand things, and they'll also question things. There are questions from those people. They are asking questions that are kind of, well, we shouldn't be. So the US government or the authorities dumbed down the schooling system so people wouldn't be so smart. Because obviously, well, it's an age-old fact. The dumber the people below you are, the easier they are to control. Obviously. Knowledge is power. It really is. And if that's true, it's not hard to believe. If you pay any attention what's going on in the other side of the Atlantic. It's sometimes like watching a reality show that you wish it wouldn't be true. But obviously we're talking about the world's biggest, well, basically US is a bad example to use in many cases, because that country is populated by immigrants. There are so many different nationalities, religions, views of life, and so forth. But some ways it's kind of Well, it's an interesting experiment with quotes to see what's going on in that country. I mean, socially and kind of if you look at it with the eyes of a behaviorist or someone who's interested about behaviorism, if that's the right word. I think I just butchered one, but that wouldn't be the first time. It's interesting. And after all this juggling and video management and filing and all, I decided to do something I don't do all that often. This is CSGO. Yes, I'm playing Counter-Strike. A game that I'm not playing all that often. And I have about 450 hours in this game. And I've played online. I think I've played 3 competitive matches. And when they changed their system, so you have to be level 3 in order to play in competitive matches, I played TDM just to get to level 3. So, and because I use this game as a as target practicing, because the sensitivity I have in this game is the same that's my ADS sensitivity in other games. So I use this to practice my aim. And I'm playing against bots simply because, well, Chukablier is not something I want to hear over and over again. A rush, no stop, and then someone flashes you and there are already 3 guys picking along the catwalk. So me no gusta. But I think I'll be playing this for a match or 2, or a few matches, and then I'll upload this. So we won't have another kind of vlog that was today's vlog. It's something like originally I had about an hour, and I managed to cut it down to, I don't remember, 40 minutes or something like that. But still, that was ridiculous. So I'll start this. And we'll see hopefully tomorrow. So, see ya!